I was a little quick on the draw there, but that's all right. Let's make
Lovely.
Chris isn't here yet, so we'll just make him disappear.
Or just put him in the background.
Well, he was in the background. I just made him disappear.
Hugman is in the background.
It's like the old Chuck Norris jokes.
Oh, yeah.
If you can see Hergelman, he can see you. If you can't see Hergelman, he's like 5 seconds. He could be at any point in time showing up to go doom.
Yeah. But it doesn't go doom.
Yeah, my voice can't handle that right now.
Yeah, mine shouldn't be able to handle that right now after 3 songs of hello. Oh. Yeah, and I would work 500 miles. That doesn't help your throat, trust me. So good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are in the world, listening to us via your ear holes, not your nose, because that would be weird, on the magic that is a podcast system.
Or unlike if you're listening to us or watching us on YouTube with the automated closed captioning turned on.
Yeah, with a weird sort of closed captioning would probably say
potato, turtle, duck, honk, race car, fire engine. Why did he say those things?
It just came up with Bennett.
He told me to do what now?
How dare you? I should get onto the HR department straight away.
We have a form letter for that.
Yeah, we do. I've seen it. I've had to read it out live on stream before. I was very sorry for about 30 seconds. But this is the Game Won't Play Itself podcast, live on a Saturday, coming to you from not only the UK in the East Midlands, but also on the East Coast of America. It's James Atkinson.
Good morning. How are we doing today?
I'm good. I don't know about chats. They'll let us know. And I am Lord Teammaker, aka Will McKellar. And so on today's show, we have a medium content dump. As it's sort of still early weekend, we haven't gone out for a large content dump just yet. We're loading ourselves up later on. We've got games we've been playing this week, which I think is going to be a bit of a doozy. And shout outs, because we also have a big shout out for someone who has reached a huge milestone this week, and we want to give them big props because they deserve it. Might as well get on with it then. Did you want to start off, mate?
Yeah, we should talk about the breaking news.
Yeah,
literally just like an hour ago. So for us, it is breaking news. For you guys, when you eventually hear this, when James decides he wants to edit this, aka it'll be out on Sunday, because we actually have a schedule we follow now. GDC has been postponed over coronavirus fears, which I guess makes sense given the fact that literally nobody was going to show up at GDC. Nobody was most of the major studios, and with Sony pulling out, they've just decided, you know what? Discretion is the greater part of valor here.
Didn't Sony also pull out of PAX East?
Yes, though the mayor has written a letter to Sony asking them to reconsider. A mayor of Boston.
Well, because it's happening at the moment, PAX East, because I know Chris Slight's over there doing stuff, so they mustn't have reconsidered.
I guess not.
The thing is, if it's a worldwide thing with people coming in from all over the world, I can understand their fears. I really can, because as we said about a couple of weeks ago on the show when Ed was here, this isn't just a normal flu virus. This is more like a severe case of pneumonia you get, because we're being told if we get it, or if we have show signs of it, we quarantine ourselves for 2 weeks. And people go, what? You want me to stay in my house 2 weeks playing video games? Okay. Fair enough. What do I do differently? But so this thing, they are scared it's going to become a pandemic. Now, when you see the amount of people who've had it, and the cases in China are starting to lower each new cases compared to, January. But the death rate compared to the infection rate, last I saw was 82,000 people have contracted the disease. Oh, sorry, the virus. Let's put a split definition between that. But it's like I think it's like 2,800 people have sadly passed away because. Now, when you look at that, that's about 0.4%.
I have a graph for this.
Yeah. Would you like to show the graph?
I will show the graph. If anybody hasn't ever gone to this website, please do. It is called Data is Beautiful on Reddit, and I'm specifically pulling from the Reddit page here. So here we are. I think this is a very telling graph, and if you're wondering, the source is the World Health Organization.
Yeah.
But here, Will, to your point.
Yeah. So looking at that, that's still less than 1%. I mean, that's not what. Okay, so it doesn't show there's like about 80,000 plus there, but
We'll do the
considering,
math.
Yeah. I mean, that's less than 1% of the people getting it. But then again, you could actually look, well, people that have recovered from it, but people who still have it is 40. So it is close to actually 80,000.
Yeah. But that's it. Is this a problem? Yes.
Yes.
If it's not treated well, but if you follow most of the steps and you do quarantine yourself, you should be okay.
Yeah. How do you deal normally with things like flu, colds, and pneumonia? You stay home, you keep warm, you drink plenty.
Kim had the flu. And I basically have been sleeping on the couch for the last month because I'm not getting it. She stayed in the room. I've thrown orange juice crackers at her just to keep her fed and like hydrated.
Drink this.
She did ask for saltines at one point. And me being the person I had to do, just as a joke, I opened the door, looked at her, pulled it out, and went, Granada! And threw it into the room.
Well, you have to, really. You have to.
I mean, we've all played Call of Duty. You have to do that.
I mean, the thing about it is, obviously, this is very serious. It's bigger than a normal sort of flu outbreak that comes around the world every year.
Though the flu has killed more people in the United States than the Wuhan flu or coronavirus, whatever we're calling it, has in the entire world. So
there was that one a couple of years ago that was going around as well.
Zika?
No, I think one began with HDR1 or something it was called.
Mm-hmm.
No, I vaguely remember something along those lines. But again, they're looking at vaccination for this. I will probably be advised to get it, which I will do so because I'm a part of the vulnerable people that could be affected badly by it. As long as we do the things that we normally do to stop the spread of infection, we'll good by the time like April and that comes around, because this sort of stuff tends to die out when the summer months come through.
I'm just wondering here because I read an article that number one, China has removed Plague Inc. from all of its like mobile phone applications. Mm-hmm. I wonder how many sales that game got since coronavirus came around.
Oh, it's going to be a huge amount.
It's like, yeah. I mean, once again, we're making light of a dangerous situation, but essentially, just don't be dumb. And also, don't go on a cruise. Just don't go on cruises.
Yeah. So that story's gotten around the world as well.
Yes, but yeah. So
just keep an eye on for yourself. Make sure you do all the steps that they're recommended to do, because the steps I've seen are just normal flu bit.
Stay home, play more video games. We'll write you a note. I don't know if your employer will take it, but we'll write you one.
Yeah. We'll get our HR to deal with your HR.
No, we
so you'll
won't.
be okay.
No, we won't. We'll like I said, we'll write them a note. We TGWPIS does not guarantee that this note will do anything to help you get out of work, but we will write you one. Who is TGWPIS? Don't worry about it. We're good. They're good guys. But
Don't worry, we'll make sure you're okay with that one.
exactly.
And you know, one of the games that you could actually play if you're not feeling well,
Max Gentleman Sexy Business.
Could play that, or a game that's coming out very, very soon. I think it's March the 5th, so it's next week. Is the Half-Life remake Black Mesa?
Yes, in the customized Half-Life 2 engine, the crazy guys at, was it Crowbar Connection or Crowbar Collective
Mm-hmm.
have actually done it.
Yeah, they've been working on it for 16 years, it says.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2004 the project originally began. That's crazy.
It's absolutely crazy.
It's ready to go next Thursday. And if you don't think I've put it on my wish list, then you're crazy. You must be hallucinating with the flu or something, because you're crazy if you don't think I have it.
And this was a fan-made mod that was given the green light by Valve to be made and sold too, because they were just going to release it for free, but then Valve said, no, you can charge money for it. And I think $20 for, I mean, what's the going rate for a remake nowadays?
About 25 quid normally.
All right.
If it's a reasonable price, I mean, that's 25 to 30.
Yeah, I was gonna say because Final Fantasy VIII is remastered, or it's like a remastered is anywhere from $25 to $30.
Yeah.
So $20 it's right in price point.
Yeah.
And I would say that's absolutely fair for a bunch of guys who spent 16 years trying to do this.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't know how much of that Valve is getting a cut of, but I mean, the fact that they blessed it. I mean, how many times have we seen fan-made projects get shot down, destroyed, DNC'd?
So often. The only thing we really don't see it in is things like Little Big Planet, when people were making levels, and unless there's penises in these levels, I mean, let's be honest there. So Dreams will be the same thing. I mean, look at the stuff that's already in Dreams.
Yeah, I mean, you can play a level of Mario and stuff on it. Things are gonna get, but the thing is, you can't police that kind of stuff because it's just how are you gonna DNC it? It's just they gave them the tools and people are just making this stuff. There's way too creative people in this world.
And it's not as if they're making money out of these.
Nope.
They're just doing it because saying, look what I can do.
I mean, other things too. Skyrim. I mean, you look at the modders in Skyrim and Fallout.
Yeah. Which
is, I mean, check TGWPIS bingo. Skyrim, check.
Ding.
You're playing along at home.
I mean, the thing you have to ask yourself is don't you think this is actually a really great interviewing tool?
That's the guy who was a part of it. I think it was the art director. He joined in as a volunteer. It was now the CEO of the company who's did it. Said I originally did this wanting it to be a resume builder, and then it became my resume. Because this is what he did. This is he wanted to go into the game industry, and this was oh cool, I'll work on this mod and I can use its art assets and stuff that I did, and now it's it's become my job.
Yeah.
Because
same thing with Little Big Planet. People who worked on levels in the first Little Big Planet were hired by Media Molecule to work on the second.
Mm-hmm. And it's just nice when company, with all the news we hear about companies acts and stuff, it's just nice to hear that Valve just went, yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's one of those rare things that we hear these days, and it's actually nice. I like this. It's really nice to do it.
We like happy things like this. Happy news. Yeah. Where do you go? Coronavirus. Second story. Happy news. It's like we are actually telling you the news. We start with the shit. We get something happy. We tell you more shit, and then something more happy.
Well, we have to balance it out, don't we?
Yeah, exactly.
That balance. And so the other bit of news I've seen before your big one that you mentioned just before, as another staple for your bingo card, so get it ready.
Oh, I have to pull that up too. Hang on. You
Yep.
talk while I'm pulling it up.
Microsoft confirmed some specifications and things for the Xbox Series X later this year, hopefully, unless there's delays because of the coronavirus. The Xbox Series X will boost a 12 teraflop GPU. Now, if you want a sort of comparison to what that is and how powerful that is, the graphics card that's out from NVIDIA, the GeForce 2080 and the 2080 Ti, it sort of sits between the both of them in terms of power, which is nice. Because one of them's like 10 teraflops, the other is 14.5, which is nice. They also detailed how cross-generational games will work on the Xbox Series X with an opt-in scheme called Smart Delivery that will empower you to buy a game once and know that you are getting the right version of that game, whatever Xbox you're playing on.
And you know who else signed on for that, right?
Yep, CD Projekt Red.
Why? Because they're absolute mad lads. We believe that you should only buy our game once. Yet you see like all the executives at EA go, oh shit.
Wait, they're not wanting to make any more money from these? Backwards compatibility was also talked about as well. So, of course, things like all non-connect Xbox One games, plus the original Xbox and 360 era, which are already in the back compatible program, will also play on the Series X. They will also benefit from steadier frame rates, faster load times, and improved resolutions. So I'm guessing there'll be more. They'll resume the backwards compatibility program once the X is out.
Congratulations, Xbox. It took you about 20 years, but you finally caught up to PC gaming.
Yeah, it's... No, I have to say from reading this, well played, because again, it's Game Pass carries on with the Xbox Series X. Okay, you could go, well, yeah, PS Plus did that. I know that, but it's something that finally Xbox are also doing, which just makes that look as if and go, I may want this after all, because that's good. That's good business sense. That's good aiming towards the consumer as well. You know. Also, while we're on the Xbox news, I was listening to a Band of Gamers podcast, and they were discussing with their community the prices for the Xbox. Now, we've already discussed these before, and I was sat there thinking, it's like when I used to work in retail, we used to talk about stuff. And the one thing that was brought up in the conversation on their podcast was the fact that they're going to be charging expensive because they don't want to lose money on consoles. Now, this is where I disagree with this thought process, because obviously being in the retail sector, I got to hear things. Manufacturers of consoles do not make a profit on the consoles within the first year to maybe 2.5 years of because of the parts. What they normally try to do is they normally try to get a profit on the games, the accessories with them, peripherals, anything that you need to add to this console. That's where they try to make the money from, until the parts and the cost of the parts come down over the next few couple of years after the launch to when they can start making a profit on them.
Right.
So that leads me to believe, if that's the same theory, one of them is is possibly going to be going for around about the $399 mark. It's just a case of which one triggers the price first, because one of them is going to undercut the other.
Oh yeah.
You just know it. You just know it.
It's a lot of you go first, no, you go first, no, you go first, no, you go first, no, you go first. It's going to be do you want to go first to market versus do you want to go first to price drop?
You know, a price drop will happen within 6 months.
Well, they're already dropping the prices of the Xbox. I think Xbox and PlayStation both had price drops recently. The $50 dump before they start having releases.
Yeah, to clear out before they go, because they're going to be start shifting their focus soon, very soon, to the Xbox One X, well, the Xbox Series X, sorry, and the PS5. It's like, a Formula One team when they're looking at next year's car. They don't look at next year's car, maybe let's say December, because it takes months and months to develop this thing and actually manufacture it. Some of the teams, if they're doing really badly, start looking at it around May. Whereas if you're fighting in the championship, then it goes later to like October. And they sort of, the worse they're doing, the less they sort of develop the same year's car and can focus on next year's earlier and earlier.
Now, here's a question. A question for you about F1. Now, do you think that what they may do is, because if I'm assuming do specifications of cars change year to year?
Not always.
No.
There will be another rules change next year. They've kind of implemented some of it this year to try and help with overtaking and make the racing more exciting. But overall, generally, there's not much of a change. There might be a tweak here and there. I mean, for example, this year, the Mercedes have come up with a rather novel approach to this, because in their car now they call it the trombone, and for the steering wheel they have two sets of, I think is it suspension settings on the car, and they can pull the steering wheel back a little bit, and it changes the setting, push it. So hence the trombone. Now that's outlawed for next year, but nobody else thought of this for this year, and they looked at it and went, "Oh wow, yeah." And the governing body of Formula One looked at it and went, "Yeah, that's legal. That's within the rules. We haven't said no for this year." So yeah, things do change, but not too often.
Well, the reason why I'm asking is because if I'm a Formula One team and say I'm in 12th, right? I'm not knocking on the championship. If I'm already RDing our car for next year, what's stopping us from taking some of those parts and putting it in our current year car to test them out to see if we can get real world action on those parts and see like we can start collecting data for next year and already being ahead for like
some do in like free practice in later on in the season. They already do to try and get ahead of the game. And you look at it and go, well, that's fair enough. It's crafty how they do it. Not a crafty rebel, but it is crafty how they do
it. I've always seen Formula One as being it's technically, I see it as two sports. It's the it's the athlete, the driver, and to say that they are not athletes, you're fucking wrong, because they're putting it's a physically demanding, mentally challenging, and it's result in injury thing
and death.
And if that, I mean, in any sport, those are kind of three things that you need to have. So there's the athlete side of it, which is the driver, and then there's just the engineers.
Yeah, the ones in the factories. There's a shit ton of.
There's the game being played on the racetrack, and then there's the 3D chess that's being played behind the doors. Now that's not to knock the drivers, not saying that they don't have have to have a very good knowledge of what's going into the car, but the fact that these things are so I mean, and essentially I think the drivers, a car can do a majority of what happens, but I think the driver is the X factor in all of it, because you can take an okay car and you put a good driver in it, and he can probably outperform somebody who is a okay driver with the best car.
Schumacher proved that when he was in the early days of his stint at Ferrari. The Ferrari car, when Schumacher was in it, wasn't great, but he took it and wrung the life out of it and made it great. So he is one of those he's one of those drivers. Hamilton is kind of the same. Now, people may mock it, but he's not a 6 times world champion for nothing.
No, and I imagine too, and when in the run that he's had, and the people he's worked with, Mercedes has a decent car now, if I'm not mistaken, right? Mercedes is
Oh yeah, they've been dominant. They've been what's 6-time constructors champions in back to back. It's basically since the rules change in 2014 when the hybrid era came in, when they had to have the turbocharger of the electrics
yep.
as well as the combustion engine.
So that goes to show you, not only have they been able to, you get a great car and a great driver, but then you've also got a team who's worked together for so period of time, because now you know what Hamilton is good at and what he's not good at. I don't know if he's not good at anything, but where he's weaknesses, and you can shore up those weaknesses by design in your design.
Yeah. And that's the big thing. It's like the only sort of thing with drivers is their driving style. Now some cars can't suit them, but it seems to be, if you have a number one driver in the team, you kind of tend to try and make the car more suitable for them. Whereas the second driver, well, if they can work it, brilliant. But if they can't, they're sort of like the rear gunner.
Yeah.
To try and help, but that doesn't always work. I mean, look at Ferrari last year.
I need you to take out Ferrari. You got it, boss.
Hey, that used to happen.
I know. That's the. I watched what the hell was the documentary? I forget the name of it. But it was like, it was the Amazon documentary on like Formula One, and I forget the name of the driver, but he was blonde, was like one of the shining stars of F1, and I'm not sure if did he die in a crash, but I thought he also may have died early.
There was a film called Rush, which was based on the 1976 season.
No, it was sorry.
James Hunt and Niki Lauda.
Yeah, I watched that, but I think it was actually no. I think it was a documentary on Le Mans.
Oh,
the Amazon documentary on Le Mans. It was like a 6-part series.
I mean, one of the ones I recommend you watching is Drive to Survive on Netflix. The season 2 started yesterday, which I've yet to start watching, but the first one was really good because you actually see behind the scenes of stuff, like little arguments, things that you don't really see in front of the camera.
Well, I am interested in all sports, as everybody well knows. Though me and Will are very weird in our sports, I tend to like soccer more than he likes soccer, and he likes football more than I like football. Now that may just because of the way of our teams, and the team that I support in football, it's kind of for me. Like the Patriots, they've won a lot, they're in decline. It's fine. I've had a good run with them. I'm happy that they succeeded what they seed. But like now it's like, okay, they're gonna start rebuilding, so I need to focus elsewhere. Where in soccer, there's just so much more that goes on, and it's such a more global game. Much more interesting. But racing, the problem with me is racing is that I can understand, like for Formula One, I can understand the technicality behind it. I appreciate the amount of engineering and the skill that goes into the driving. Watching it is just fucking boring to me.
If you get a really good race, though, that can change your opinion. Because I can understand the boring races. I saw 3 back to back last year, and I was like, fucking hell, this is just why do I watch it? But then you get other races afterward, like Germany. Germany was really good.
I just for me it doesn't do it for me. I like maybe like it's the same with basketball. Like I like basketball the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter,
because the intensity has to be turned up, because especially if it's a close game.
But yeah, with like Formula One, like I think the one race I ever watched is like Hamilton was in the pole position and he just dominated the entire race, and it was just like, well, this is a race for second.
Yeah.
I'm just like this. There's no drama. There's no draw for me. It's like Hamilton is just destroying everybody, and it's just like I think he had like a minute lead, and it was just like, well, the guy's like, well, he's not going to get caught. And I'm like, great. There's like only like 23 more laps.
Yeah, I think one of the ones you should try and check out to try and change your mind would be Canada 2010.
Listen, I appreciate the sport. I like having a basic understanding. I love the simulator game that came out for it. FM Simulator was or Sportman, whatever, the F1 simulator. It's great,
Hmm.
and they have some really cool games. And the simulator one game works great for me because it's exactly why I like soccer, right? I don't like playing FIFA. I'm not good at playing FIFA. I don't care about how good I am as a FIFA player. I want to manage everything else about it.
Yeah, you're the behind the scenes sort of. What happens if we do this? How can we make this
Let's
better?
tell
How
the
can we do
engineering
this? So
team this. Let's
shift the
scout the
pieces
best
around.
drivers out of China to get them to come in here and work for us. Let's take 2 seasons
Yeah.
and just say we're not challenging for the championship at all, but develop our drivers, develop our car, and then say in season 3, that's the season where we just fucking go for it.
Yeah.
That's what I like. Just like, okay, let's get the game plan set up. Let's look at this long term. How can we make this sustainable? That's good. I am not a racing game fan. I am a horrible racing game player. But give me a management sim. There we go. Of course, that just could be just say a lot about my gaming taste.
Probably. But
Where's
speaking of,
MMO
like,
Simulator
managements-
2020?
Yeah, let's release games. There is a game making simulator.
Yeah, that's too meta for me at that point.
I mean, speaking of persons with a load of money and management, you have another bit of news, don't you?
I do. It's been a while since we've had Elon watch. But here he is in all of his glory with the latest SpaceX rocket with Battle Angel Alita on it. Now the news said scantily clad Battle Angel Alita. She's a cyborg robot. Doesn't really. But anyways, All or Nothing, Mars Hunter Warrior, Battle Angel Alita, SpaceX rocket. You go, Elon. You just keep doing you. Be damned the critics.
Oh, Elon. Top work.
Don't ever stop. Which just now gives me an idea. Or not an idea, just makes me think. What is he going to be putting on there next? If he puts Battle Angel Alita on there, what do you think he could do? By the way, we confirmed Elon is weeb. So.
What is he up to next? Probably find out sooner than later. Right. Well, that's the content dump. Let us just take a moment. Let's wash our hands. Make sure it's full flushed away. Let's come back, pick up our controllers, and say what we have been playing in the last week. Do you want to go first, or shall I?
Sure, I can go first because I have a very quick dun 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 dun. I've been playing Football Manager, so if you want to know what I've been doing in Football Manager, YouTube. There is now 23 episodes, 11 of which are live. If you didn't see episode 10, go watch episode 10. It is both our greatest achievement and our most horrific failure. All in one go.
That must be one hell of a soap opera ticket.
Oh, this save is turning into very much a soap opera, as Will very much knows.
Yep.
We play a Premier League team. I'm just gonna leave it there. Just follow it. There's a lot of crazy things going on it. I'm really enjoying making it. I make an episode a day essentially, and I think one of these days, I'm going to have to throw it all on Twitch, and do a Twitch marathon of it. It may be when I do when I hit non-league, when I get out of non-league and I get into the actual football pyramid. So that'll be 4 divisions. So I'll be halfway through the save, basically halfway to getting to the Prem.
Yeah.
That'll be a good time to do it. But it's Football Manager, and to answer the one streaming question, James, why didn't you stream Football Manager? I found that the quality of video got better when I was just recording them. without streaming it, because when stream there's a lot of downtime, and it's a great kind of downtime kind of game if you're like sitting there and talking with chat. But when you record them, like it can be quick, 15, 20 minutes videos there. I can have fun with it. I can kind of goof around a little bit. I can do thoughts when everything's going on, but it creates a better video. When I was looking back and looking at the first couple ones, which was just the stream VODs, there's just a lot of me talking kind of just to fill the air. Where these, they're a lot more concise, and I can kind of get down into the game and go, bang, this is what we're doing. And granted, it's been a lark up to this point. We have a very good team, but there has been some drama moments. There's a lot changing in the current season that I'm in, which you guys are 11 episodes behind in, because there's a backlog. Because there is a lot of Football Manager I've been playing. But please, if you have a chance, watch it. I will probably tweet out that video today with Will's help, because Will is obviously the Twitter expert, and I look at that stuff. I just go, I don't know how to Twitter or Reddit. What I do know how to do is edit videos, get them up on time, and get everything at least going in the right places. I can get the things to be tweeted out. I just don't understand how to tweet them out, if that makes any sense. But
we can do that.
Number 1, that's what I've been playing there. 2, I've also started up Jedi Fallen Order.
Nice.
I am playing on the easiest difficulty. I'm going to let everybody know that right away. I tried playing it on night for a little bit. It was fun-ish, but it was like, I'm not really enjoying this. Is the other easiest difficulty really easy? Yes. Am I playing this game because I want a challenge? No. I'm playing this game because it is a story game. It is Star Wars lore. We're playing this because it is Star Wars and we want to watch this. I don't think people want to see me die to the same room 10 times in a row. Because I am just uber aggressive when it comes to everything. Maybe I'll nick the difficulty up again when I get all of the defensive abilities and like the max health and force. But until then, spam X and win. More also, that video, all of those videos will be coming up soon. I've been playing Half-Life 2. If you've been following that series, if not, we are out of Ravenholm and going into the asylum. 'Cause that's a fun place. We had to go through the coast and then do the jailbreak and insects and just craziness. Yeah. And we have the assault rifle now, so more fun there. And then I can wrap up with the last thing I've been playing, which is one you guys may not guess. It's an oldie, but a goodie. It's Darkest Dungeon.
Nice.
Because, why not?
Hell yeah.
It's a fun little game that I can play while stuff is rendering. Because Football Manager is getting to the point now where the save is needs to pull more and more memory, because we're 4 years in. Leagues are being loaded, players are being regenerated, the database is getting big. So
yeah.
But that's it. That's pretty much what I've been playing.
Nice. So, what I have been playing is... let's have a look. Right, what I have been playing is... First of all, I've played a couple more snooker matches, which has been now pretty much Whitewash City on the PlayStation. I faced Roddy O'Sullivan and 164, which is good on the Xbox. I completed the uncompletable. I completed Assassin's Creed Origins. That was a major achievement for me, because there's a couple of boss fights in the DLC, and you have to, well, I have to anyway. I had to cheese it. And the best way of cheesing it is you get these weapons with certain abilities, and one of them is to regenerate your adrenaline rush, where you have the mega, you have your big sort of fighting ability on, and with the adrenaline regeneration, if you stay out fighting, it does it does regenerate itself. Now, the bosses I was on, I only was able to take 1 or 2 hits before I was dead. So it's a case of taking my time, picking my spots. It did feel more like a Dark Souls boss than an Assassin's Creed one or God of War. So yes, I went full cheese against Tutankhamun and that, and then just wait, back off, wait, draw him in, make him swing, back off, wait some more, and then hit. Took about 20 to 30 odd minutes to do it, but hey, cheese works, right?
It's a legitimate strategy.
And if it wasn't meant to be done, they wouldn't put it in there.
Exactly.
So that's how I managed to finish off Assassin's Creed. Believe me, I am so happy because while I love Origins, it just did outstay its welcome. It really did. So I'll be starting Odyssey on the Sunday service for 3 weeks before the Sunday service welcomes the congregation back to hell as we become the Slayer and we become the boss in Doom Eternal, which I'm looking forward to playing so much. Also this week I have played some more Spec Ops The Line, which you'll be seeing split up into nice manageable chunks on YouTube very soon. I completed Control, which again, if I played that last year, that would have been probably beaten Devil May Cry to the Game of the Year. That's how much I love that game. But I went to bed on the Thursday night. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, and I wanted to play more of it. I didn't want to put the controller down and go to bed, and that's a rarity for me for a game. So it just shows how much it got into here. And the soundtrack piece that you heard at the start of the show, if you're live on Twitch with us, that is from there. And you're going through this maze. The building sort of opens up into like a hotel area, and it sort of tries to throw you getting through because it's a maze that constantly transforms and changes. When you're able to have a method of getting through, you're given a tape player, a Walkman, by the janitor in this. And so to stop the maze confusing you, put it on, listen to music. This track that you heard at the start of the show is that track, and it is so great to be able to shoot shit while listening to that. It just made that whole piece.
It's the big action sequence. It's kind of the build. It's the build up. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, build up to the main event, the build up to the final act of the game. And so I really loved that game. That was awesome sauce. The other thing I've been playing, it has been Need for Speed Heat. Now, did I hear last year that this wasn't a bad game? That people actually seemed to enjoy this.
I don't know. I don't know the last time I've heard anything about any Need for Speed game.
Because I don't really agree. I really don't agree with it. I've started it, and there feels like there's a level grind in this. And that shouldn't be in racing games. You shouldn't have to level grind to unlock new cars to buy. You shouldn't have to go back to maybe other races that you've done in terms of to unlock reputation, to unlock new events for that. I don't get that. I mean, if you're doing a race and you have to be first to unlock stuff, fair enough. You have to win. But if you're having to sort of do this for other cars to then go to other races to stand a chance, I don't like it. I mean, I've had 2 races where I actually enjoyed racing. The rest of it I just kind of lost with. So I'm like, do I continue this? Do I really want to? And maybe in chunks, but not as the other game to replace like Control. So I'm gonna have to look for another game to get my teeth into. And I've got choices.
Your other off-stream game?
I mean, I've got things like Death Stranding, Disco Elysium 2, Medieval Remake. The Yakuza collection, Shenmue's to go through, Dreams to go through. You know, so I've got plenty to go through. It's just a case of picking which one and just going, okay, boom, you.
I would suggest against Death Stranding
Mhm.
because they're not similar, but they're similar enough that I think that like the whole existential like craziness of Control and
Yeah.
like with the existential craziness of Death Stranding, you may want to be like I felt like I've played this already, so you may burn out a little bit. Granted,
Right.
I'm the Death Stranding guy,
Mhm.
and I think that like going into that game as clean as possible is the best way to experience it.
Fair enough. So something else between that. I mean, we've also got Greedfall there as well.
Greedfall's good.
So I've got options, things like Judgment, that sinking city, you know, Call of Cthulhu. So I do have choices. It's just thinking, you know, feeling which one I want to play. Then after I completed, I completed Assassin's Creed. I put a poll out on Twitter saying, if I complete this night, what game would you want me to play? Would you want me to play some more pinball? Would you want me to play a puzzle game? The overall vote was for another Pogie game. So yesterday we put that on Word Wheel because, frankly, I'm stupid at anagrams. And so getting the community to help us out on this one seemed like a plan. And I had so much fun with it with you guys. I really did. It was, you know, we were ripping the piss out of each other when we made blatant mistakes. Like, if there's a word that we need to use a certain letter with, and it wasn't in there at all, then I guess it's like sort of stop and go. But there's no this, that, the next thing. Yeah, it was fun to do it with the community, and we're going to do it again next week after the snooker. And finally played some more Rocket League J, which is always a good time of late. It really is. He's a really good player with it. So that's all I've been playing.
I guess we're now into the shout out.
Mm-hmm. We're into the shout outs. Do you want me to do the shout out, or do you?
You can do it.
Okay, so big shout out for us this week has to be to my good friend Rach, Don't Rach Queer on Twitch. This past week, she became a partner with Twitch, which is a major achievement. She has worked very hard for it over the past 3 years. And so she's got it. So that's an amazing achievement. Well done.
Well done to her. She's having a party right now.
Yeah. I think that's about it, really.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And I think if she give me a second here. Do 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 bum 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 bum. Gonna mute that bum 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 bum. So with that, we'll wrap up the show. Will, good job by you.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Chat, thank you for being here. Chris,
you're here to say goodbye.
I am here to say goodbye. I'll run down what I played real quick for you guys.
Yes.
I'm a little under the weather. A little sore throat. But I've been playing a little Dota, actually. A little bit of Dota. And they recently came in with Dota Underlords, which is just Dota auto chess in a unique game. And it's pretty good. I like the characters. It's neat. I've poked at a couple other games. Just doing my casual play a game I don't care about and watch things that I do care about at the same time. And that's it.
Fair enough.
All right.
That's on.
Chris, I'm sorry I got you sick.
No, it's not you. It was the office.
Okay. Well, I had the same thing,
Yeah.
a sore throat, and could not talk yesterday. On Thursday, and they made me go home from work, so.
Yeah. Nah, it was around the work too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
well,
you good.
We're good. We're good. All right, everybody. This has been TGWPIS. Everybody stay safe, stay calm, drink lots of water, and play more Football Manager. because
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. It's been super fun. There's the ending thing. We can go bye-bye now. Bye-bye.